Man, it's like this, you know? Argentina almost makes it, Cape Verde scores and all that. In the end, they manage to qualify. Then comes France. 0-0, Paraguay gets a penalty with VAR, qualifies, you know? And it seems like it never works out for Brazil. Brazil should have won this game. They had to take advantage of the opportunities, you know? Score the penalty. Man, missing the penalty, missing chances, hitting the post, the goalkeeper saving everything. It's unbelievable the bad luck that the Brazilian national team has, man.
Yeah, man, it kind of reminded me of the Belgium game where you feel like nothing is working. You keep shooting and taking chances, but the ball just won't go in. Yeah, at some point, it really felt like we were getting into that moment. One detail, the team was much weaker than Belgium, much weaker than Croatia, a team way inferior to the Brazilian national team. Even this Brazilian national team, which even though it found itself throughout the competition and found a playing style, I think it was far from being brilliant. And that's okay. That's okay. At some point, we even wanted to fool ourselves in a good way, thinking, all right, we don't need to be brilliant to be champions. But then we ended up paying for it, man. We paid for it when we completed half as many passes as Norway did. We paid for it when we didn't take advantage of the chances we had. We missed a penalty right at the beginning of the game, which would have completely changed the game. We missed easy goals, right? And I'll specifically point out the chance Hendrik missed, going one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
What a great pass from Vini Jr., right? He played well and was the most proactive player. I didn't think Brazil, even though they didn't pass much, especially in the first half, Brazil was dangerous. They had the main chances, you know, in a style of play that we don't like. It's natural. Honestly, man, that's not the Brazilian style. It's not our essence.
It's not our essence.
That's not Brazilian soccer. You know, it's not about waiting for the other team to play, waiting for the opponent so you can go on the counter-attack. But that was Ancelotti's approach. But I think at some point in the game, you needed to offer more. You needed to move away from that approach. And I'm not talking about after Norway's goal, no. I'm talking in general. Brazil should have asserted itself a little more like they did against Japan. In the second half, they went forward. You know, they really pressed Japan. Okay, Japan had a more defensive posture, yes, but Brazil didn't let Japan play. And it was different with Norway. And Norway doesn't have that super skilled midfield. It's long balls, long passes. It's a clash between Haaland and Gabriel Magalhães, you know? So Brazil really needed to be more precise in this game, finish their chances, put the ball in the net. They couldn't have missed such an important penalty just 10 minutes into the game.
And that's the point. If you choose to play in this style that Ancelotti set up for Brazil, right? A more reactive style. Look how crazy that is. Playing reactively against Norway. It doesn't make sense anymore. But if you choose to play in this style, when you create a chance, you have to score, man. You have to score. You can't miss a penalty 15 minutes into the game. You can't miss a goal like Hendrik did. You need to score to justify that choice. And now we have the image of Neymar crying, right, man? It's Neymar's farewell to World Cups. With the Brazilian national team, most likely as well. This was probably Neymar's last game, his last goal for the Brazilian national team. And it's a melancholic farewell, right, man? Maybe even Neymar's farewell to football. I don't know if he's going to keep playing. Will Neymar stay motivated to play after this? I'm not sure.
The question remains, right? Brazil early in the second half, right before the cooling break, Brazil makes 2 substitutions, right? First, Hendrik comes in for Matheus Cunha. And then just before the cooling break, Neymar and Danilo come in. After those 2 players came in, we have to be realistic that the team didn't work very well. The team got worse. It got worse with those 2 coming in. And it's not just about Neymar. Like, it wasn't Neymar who made the team worse. That's not it. I think the substitutions were mistaken, you know? Danilo didn't play well when he came on. Martinelli wasn't great. Many were divided, but I didn't think he played well.
It divided opinions about the match?
I thought he did his job, won the ball, started counterattacks, took some shots. But obviously he wasn't brilliant, just like nobody else was. But the reality is that Ancelotti's substitutions didn't have any effect.
Today they got in the way.
They would have had an effect if Hendrik had taken advantage of that good opportunity he had one-on-one with the goalkeeper, which he can't miss. Let this be a lesson for Brazil, who never seem to learn, losing to yet another average European team. Yeah, it's incredible, really unbelievable what we're going through, that we're experiencing this, another one from the 5-time world champion, you know? A team that has better players, that has the best coach in the world, couldn't get past Norway. Okay, they have Haaland, but what about Odegaard, Sorloth, those guys? My brother, I'm sorry, they aren't fit to shine Vinny's shoes. Haaland is the only one there. He's like a lone wolf on the Norway team, and they played a game where they weren't looking to do much either. Norway wanted exactly that, to slow down the game, keep it at 0-0, and hope not to mess up.
for the game to end in a draw.
And find a ball for Haaland at the 40th minute of the first half, a header goal on the only one he won in the duel. The first one, the first goal, right? At 38-35, something like that, a cross into the box, the only cross that Haaland managed to take advantage of with a header, making it 1-0.
Man, Haaland was being shut down by the Brazilian center-back duo, boxed in between Marquinhos and Gabriel Magalhães, until the moment when Magalhães dozed off a bit and Haaland made that quick diagonal run, right? And he managed to get ahead and head the ball with no chance for Alisson to save it. Now, what really upset me was the second goal, man. Because there I thought there was a certain carelessness in the marking. The first was a mistake, and credit to Haaland. We have to give him props because he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest striker right now. But the second was carelessness. Carelessness in the marking, man. You can't let a player like Haaland control the ball freely at the edge of the box, have time to look up, set himself with his supporting foot, and blast a shot. I mean, take a low shot right there at the edge of the box, you know?
No man at least, you know? Like dribble but block the shot, right? It was also very similar to the goal against Japan. No one blocked his shot. He just kept going, kept going, kept going. Backing up and holding position is a defender's role, but you need to block the shot at some point. Norway's second goal is absurd and shouldn't happen. Brazil made a lot of offensive mistakes, not finishing the plays. And defensively, they didn't suffer much. I mean, it was just 2 goals, you know? One good save by Alisson, I think 2 good saves by Alisson. With 2 shots like that from inside Norway's box, and Norway, who had conceded 8 times, Brazil struggled. They only managed to score at 52 minutes into the second half from a penalty, you know? Man, Brazil can't keep going into World Cups like this. Every World Cup, it's the same. They get eliminated by a mediocre or even weak European team. Brazil, okay. Ancelotti renewed his contract. I really hope that in the next World Cup we have a new way of playing, that we can bring some unity to this team. And more than just having good players and a good squad, it's about bringing back the spirit, man. You know, it's the essence of Brazilian football, of the national team. We can't keep going like this. We're going to keep losing to average European teams, you know? And there are no easy teams in football anymore. Man, I'm extremely disappointed, really sad about this World Cup. It was a huge disappointment. We didn't believe it at first, but as things progressed, as we advanced through the stages, we started to see that Brazil had a chance to win, especially because there wasn't any team really standing out, except for France, which honestly is way ahead. I think they should win once again. They'll make it to the final for the 3rd time in a row. That's something only Brazil and Cafu have achieved. There was no one. Argentina really struggled to beat Cape Verde. It went into overtime, and obviously it ended up going to Argentina. It could have gone to Cape Verde. It could have gone to penalties. But they scored a goal at the end. Things just work out for them over there. And here things don't work out. Nothing moves forward. I think it's more of a structural issue. Now, thinking a little more long-term, I think the decision to stick with Ancelotti is actually the right one. You know, let's go for another full cycle with him. With a solid foundation. He already has an idea and knows the players well. Many currently there won't be at the next World Cup. A rebuild. But hopefully we can build something consistent. Our cycle was really bad. It was asking too much to think we could be champions and that everything would work out. The stars would have had to align for us to be champions. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So, let's go into the next World Cup strong. With the strength of a good team, good soccer, good players, and not just relying on the weight of the jersey. I think that's what we need. Yeah.
And to wrap up my analysis here, man, I want to highlight Vinny's match and his World Cup. I think he was on another level again today in the game. He took charge, tried, went forward, and created good plays. I thought Bruno Guimaraes, despite the missed penalty, and it's hard for us to say, right? If he had scored that penalty, everything would have been different. But I think he played a good match again and is establishing himself as a player who could become a leader in this national team going forward. And if I have to point out, right, I was thinking here, man, you have to find someone to blame, right? Football is really tough, man, but if I had to find someone to blame for this game, man, I think it's Carlito. The one to blame for this game was Carlo Ancelotti, who set up the team with this more reactive approach. The team ended up not converting the chances they created. And at the moment when he tried to change the strategy, to change the tactical setup, he ended up dismantling the team, right? The team was set up in that particular way, whether you like it or not. But there was a game plan, there was a well-defined pattern. And from the moment he takes out Rayan and Martinelli and puts in Danilo and Neymar, the team, man, falls apart, right? And the numbers are here to prove it. I quickly pulled up the game stats here. Man, Norway had 66% possession. That just doesn't happen. Brazilian soccer finishing a World Cup round of 16 match against a mid-level team like Norway, with all due respect to the Norwegians, with only 34% possession and taking fewer shots on goal, right? Brazil had 4 shots on target and Norway had 5. Norway completed 653 passes and Brazil 313.
That's more than double, okay?
But I'm afraid it's not even half of what Norway completed. So these statistics indicate that it is... if Brazil wants to win a World Cup again playing like Brazil, it will need to rethink certain concepts. If it's going to play like this, okay. But it must capitalize on its chances, and today Brazil didn't create any.
Yeah, I felt that Brazil lacked fighting spirit, you know? The desire to win the game, energy, excitement in every play, I think that was missing. But anyway, Brazil is out of the World Cup, Norway 2-1.